crowd, you know, a good venue, and they get excited about the snooker, and you know, it's a good atmosphere to play in.
There's not much century breaking this season, so I'm happy to see that break building come back. Feels like not been doing that for a long time.
It's a fine line between winning and losing these days. So it could be a missed putt or not scoring well or safety. You know, you need to be on in pretty all departments really. Otherwise, you know, if you're weak in one area, it can let you down.
This was great to play my hero, and maybe I play good.
I haven't really followed his performances or his game, you know, but if he gets back on form, then you know he's a dangerous player, and you know he's a tournament winner. So hopefully he doesn't play well against me.
Every time I talk to myself, just like it's ready to go for the match with Ronnie. It's just that sometimes it doesn't work. Could be a good game, could be very bad. Yeah, both way, but I want to do it the better way.
So I don't really analyse my performance. I just sort of go out there and try as hard as I can, and if I get a result, great. If I don't, then you know you just have to accept it and move on, you know.
Well, we got
about great rivalries and great talent, and we have both here today. Long after these two players have retired, people will talk about the profound influence each has had over the sport they love. This has the makings of a very, very special afternoon. Welcome to semi-final Saturday at the Dafabet Masters. Please welcome one of the most important global figures this sport has ever known. His achievements have inspired a generation of fans and players back home in China. Winner of 13 ranking titles, Enter the Dragon, Ding Junhui. And his opponent, the most successful player in Masters history, with a magnificent 7 titles so far. We are about to hear that famous Ali Pali roar for the 5-time champion of the world. Blink and you'll miss him, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's been all week, so once again a race for the 6 frames winning line. Ronnie bidding for a 13th Masters final, Ding going for his 3rd, and raring to go in the commentary box, Stephen Hendry, John Virgo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hazel. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I think you can tell from that reception for both players, obviously running a bit louder, that everybody looking forward to this. It should be a classic. And of course, Stephen, you've been here many times in these semi-finals, and the atmosphere electric. And I think Ali Pali's come to light the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, ever since we left the Wembley Conference Centre. Yeah, there was a time it was at the Wembley Arena, but it wasn't quite the same. But I think this venue has turned into an iconic venue for this tournament. Amazing to see Ding coming down and says shaking hands with absolutely everyone.
Yep, and smiling. And he certainly has got a character now.
I just hope Ding can play to his potential today and make this a match, because it's true he hasn't been the winning machine, as I mentioned earlier, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and you feel that he's going to have to play his best if he's going to get anything out of this match. I mean, that would have been certainly a shock to the system in his last round when he just managed to scrape home against Luca Bracel. So, you know, sometimes you get a result like that, it gives you a bit more belief.
I think this red goes to left corner. Moves that cue ball to bounce, and it has. Nicely on the green.
Yeah, just the start you're looking for, any player. Got the almond in red, got his hand on the table, nice angle on the green to come down to the business end, and the reds are nicely spread. And the black is clear somewhat.
One of the reasons when I was talking to JP when I said that possibly we could get a special performance from Ronnie today is I think he really respects Ding as a player, and that will sharpen his concentration and focus, I would think.
See, a lot of people take time over a shot, but it's just Ronnie's trying to work out which is the best red to play for here. Well, whichever one he decided, that's not absolutely perfect.
4.
I think he may have a red to the left corner, apart from the one to the right middle, but it's not exactly as played.
Dead straight in the red, so couldn't get closer to the pink, just had to follow through and make himself a little bit further away from the pink. Shouldn't be a problem. Pink, as you can see, is not going to go back in its own spot. But going back to Ding, John, I think a win today would get his career back on track, I think.
Yeah, you could say that Ronnie O'Sullivan has been his nemesis, really.
Well, he's a benchmark for every other player at the moment. There's no doubt about it. It's a test for your game that you get from no one else.
Yeah, and when Ding was that winning machine, of course, it was Ronnie who kept stopping him in the final stages. And we always talk, as we have done prior to this match, about the 2007 final, where Ding really was, well, I don't think it'd be putting it mildly, say he was heartbroken at the way he played. But Ronnie was so good that match, he had nothing to reproach himself for. But it certainly seemed to, he had a hangover from it for a few seasons.
Yeah, and you have to say it's probably an even more intimidating atmosphere in this venue than Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's become his, well, you look for, I'm so comfortable at this venue. You're looking for his pipe and slippers under the table, aren't you, John?
12.
Yeah, but has he screwed down far enough? That's unlike Ronnie to make a careless mistake like that. Looks straightforward just to stun it down, but not far enough. He can't pot the black.
O'Sullivan. 12.
Taking this on, doesn't want to miss it thick. Missing it thin was okay. You're always going to get the cue ball out of there. Okay, it's not going to pose any problems for Ronnie O'Sullivan. If Ding had missed that red thick, he probably would have cannoned into something and left the cue ball in amongst the reds.
Good safety shot there from Ronnie. And of course, this is the thing about Ronnie. His safety play is as good as anyone in the game, and if you're only going to feed off mistakes that he makes when he's in amongst the balls, well, you're going to maybe have to wait quite a while. So it's up to Ding to compete in the safety.
He can compete in that department. Same Ronnie with his usual cup of hot water. Remember the final against Mark Selby and the semi-final, and Ding played Mark. He competed in the safety department. We all know how good Mark Selby is. Unforced errors is the thing that Ding's got to cut out today.
Stephen was referring to something like that. Poor safety this, had to catch this red and much thinner than he did. And left Ronnie a nice easy starter. Ronnie just stopping, that's the referee to clean the cue ball. Just get the feeling at the moment that there's a little bit of nerves out there, and even Ronnie won't be immune to that. So he's just early on in the match, just taking his time and just getting himself settled.
Yeah, you have to have nerves. You won't play your best if you're not nervous. Certainly in my experience, if I was flat going out, I didn't play to my best. You see that red just creeped in, the right hand side of the pocket. Any more pace, I would have missed.
The balls are pretty well situated.
3.
You'll have to go back up for the blue again off this red though, as long as he gets a good angle on the blue.
4.
That's absolutely inch perfect. Now it's a choice of red. There's the one just to the left of the black, oh sorry, the pink, or the one just above the black. He's played for the one just above the black. Clearing this, then he can pot the black and
9.
get rid of the red to the other side of the black. And then of course once you get the black available into both corner pockets, as an opponent sat in your chair, you'd fear the worst.
$17. 18.
After that black, just another 25 points needed. So that's going to mean he'll need another 4 reds
25.
to clinch the frame at this visit.
$26. 33.
There you see, glance at the scoreboard. 3 more reds needed.
34.
And there was a chance a few shots ago he could have played for the pink and maybe nudged those 3 reds in the middle of the table in play, but he doesn't need to risk any cannons. And the one thing I do notice about Ronnie nowadays, that if he doesn't have to play cannons,
41.
then he's reluctant to do so, because they can always go wrong, and if you can avoid it, why
42.
take any undue risks? After the black, still looking for 1 more red and a colour.
On the evidence of this first frame, it looks to me a completely different Ronnie O'Sullivan than his last match against Ryan Day. Looked flat to me in that match. Basically just did enough to stay in front of his opponent. Looks bang up for it today.
Yeah, as you say, and I think that is because of the respect
49.
he has for Ding Junhui. Now, this is tricky. Hampered. I mean, any normal right-hander would have to use a long spider here. Well, it looks like Ronnie's going to have to do that, so this makes this red missable. No, I think he'd rather play with his left hand.
You can see noticeably the bridge hand how unsteady it was. If he was playing this normally right-handed, it wouldn't be like that.
No.
Look at his hand, it's quivering.
Well, but he played it nicely. And there you see it, 69 ahead, 59 remaining. Is he on this red to the right middle? Well, he was, and he made certain of it. He didn't try to push the bolt out. You would think that Ding would stay in his seat. Well, trying to swing that round, but I think Ding will be unmoved, and he does. He waves his hand, you can see. So just the sort of start that Ronnie O'Sullivan was looking for. It must be said, poor safety shot from Ding to give him that frame-winning chance, but he grabbed it with both hands. He leads 1-0.
Sense that he's gone up a gear already.
Well, he should be getting, fired up for this event, and he does look like he's got the bit between his teeth. He messed up an early positional shot, which we're unused to seeing, but a couple of shots later, he identified a decent chance at a safety shot to try and put Ding in trouble. Ding did have an escape route, but he collided with a red, so and it was a good safety as well.
Intimidation factor here is very high for anyone other than Ronnie, you've got to say. How do you feel? How do you, as top-class players, try and handle an experience, an occasion like this, John?
Just play it like every other one. I know it's not. I mean, you're walking out to 1,900 people, but it's just got to be exactly like a day at the office, exactly what you... I mean, this is your job. This is what you're here to do. I know it's difficult. We've all been in situations where you get intimidated by it, but, I played Jimmy White in front of 2,200 or whatever it was at Wembley on a Friday night, and nobody wanted me to win. So these are all the things that you've just got to cope with.
Even you did. No. The interesting thing about when you're playing a Ronnie O'Sullivan who's in form and he punishes you, not only does it put pressure on trying to make the most of your break building opportunities and not missing the pots, also it puts pressure on the safety as well. Joe, and when all parts of your game are scrutinised, that's tough.
Engine wait to break.
Okay, it's a successful start for the Rocket. Engine start.
Yeah, little tap on the table there from Ronnie. Decent break-off shot. It's amazing that the first few days nobody could get a decent break-off for the way the cushions were sliding on the new cloth. As you can see, can't get through to the potting angle.
Foul. And a miss.
Flick the green.
Ding Junhui, 4.
Boy, that was careless. Now Ding, without having, well, good break-off shot, but he didn't expect to be gifted a chance like this. Look, he just flicks the green. And the fact he didn't go in off has left Ding now with the nice easy starter. And he's usually very good in these situations.
Yeah, this is a big test early on in this match. The absolute strength of Ding Junhui's game is this situation here. Break building, heavy scoring. He doesn't need me to tell him that he wants to win this frame now at this visit. Just to send a message
8.
to his opponent.
9.
I'm going to try not to put the jinx on him, but in this situation he's in the top 3 in the world in terms of cue ball control and compiling a break. Cue ball just doesn't do
70.
the mileage that it does with some of the other players. He's already looking at the contact he wants in that red at the bottom of the bunch. Just be a kind of a little stun shot. Might not play it with too much pace. Well, he missed the first red, but controlled it very nicely, you have to say.
24.
And you see the action the cue ball took effect after it made contact with the pack. It just made the cue ball pull up.
$25.
Well, it's very early, but the Reds are in a lovely position. No stranger to making maximums, Ding Junhui, but he won't be doing it from here unless he wants to take the red onto the far left corner. Finished way short on that red.
Yeah, now has to be said. We've seen that a lot this week. A few players early on were saying the cushions were just trapping, but so many times see people play for a red like this and finish short. And he's not out of the woods just yet. Wrong side of the blue. So he's got to negotiate a path in and out of the balk end.
Apologies, everyone.
Oh, is he nestled and on nothing?
38.
Is he on nothing? He's on nothing. Can you believe it? Of all the places in all the world, he had to finish up there.
Well, it was obvious, John, wasn't it, after what I said about his cue ball control. But, that was incredible. 4 reds to land on there. Some people might say that's unlucky to land on that red, but for me, it's a poor shot.
38.
He'll be disappointed as he goes back to his seat, there's Ding, but these things happen. If he'd have got better position on the red, he wouldn't have had to go in and out of balk off the blue. Looks like Ronnie's taking this on. Oh, wonderful. Never touched the side. Brilliant. cannon has worked out absolutely inch perfect.
8.
Yeah, very similar to the shot Ding played, wasn't it? Just after the cue ball made contact with the bunch, the screw took effect and just held the cue ball in position. Perfectly played shot. And, well,
9.
there's only one favourite for this frame now. Table was recovered, as it always is before the semi-final.
60.
Maybe a reason why Ding came short of the cushion when he was in the balls.
70.
Players are allowed the 10 minutes, aren't they, John, in the match table, and neither of these players took advantage of that today, but you would think if you did, you'd find out about the cushions, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm not a great lover of this new innovation, to be honest with you. I can understand there's some tournaments where, you know, people like Ronnie play on the main table all the time and people from the outside tables don't
24.
have a go at that table, give them a bit of practice time, but not here, the one table situation.
No, I'm with you. I don't like
25.
I don't think you would have gone out, would you?
it. Nah.
So slowly but surely, Ronnie closing the gap, still 12 points behind.
30.
He can get to the snooker's required stage
31.
with these reds and colours before he gets the yellow.
Sorry, John, I was just about to say, go back to unforced errors and Ding finishing short on that red from the black, and then the positional shot in and out of balk. 4 reds to play for. Didn't land in any of them.
28.
Can't afford that today. Nobody can, playing
30.
against O'Sullivan.
So that pink puts him in front by 3 points. Only needs another 25 points to get to snooker's required.
25.
So these 4 reds and high valued colours would do it.
46.
He looks in lovely touch.
Yeah, enough points available for a century break. I certainly wouldn't bet against that happening.
53.
51 left on the table, already on 53.
54. Yeah. 60.
Ronnie just making sure the referee can keep up. When you're in a rhythm and you're in the
61.
zone, you don't want to be interrupted. It's not the easiest job for the referee in a Sullivan match.
Yeah, they do a marvellous job, the referee, of course, because the player, when he's not at the table, gets to sit down. The referee has to keep eyes on the table all the time. So just the red and the colour, and it would be snooker's required for Ding Junhui.
I think also, John, that shows you how focused he is in this match.
68.
He'll have to give this black due care and attention now, a little bit lower than he would have liked. This black should have been unmissable.
Yeah, again, possibly the recovering of the table, which has caught him out. And the cushion's a little bit more sluggish. But it's right in the heart of the pocket.
Five.
Yellow, straight yellow to this corner pocket. Little stun run through the green. Well, surprise and miss.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 75.
But you would think that 75 is going to win Ronnie the second frame.
Yeah, 2 snookers needed. For Ding Junhui, there you see it, 33 behind, 27 remaining. Doesn't want the yellow in. Doesn't want the yellow in because he'd have had the snooker if it hadn't have done.
2.
Well, never rains, but it pours.
Foul.
And I should think
Ronnie
that
2, Ronnie
he's
O'Sullivan
looked
4.
at Ronnie to
And the frame.
concede, and he has. So Ding Junhui made a safety mistake in the first one, poor positional shot. You could say he was unlucky not to be on a red. Anyway, he wasn't, and Ronnie O'Sullivan now takes the first 2 frames, 2-0.
On the way towards winning it, obviously, and then that blue. Now, where do you stand on the debate? Was it a bad shot, or was he a little unlucky here, John?
I think he's cursed. I absolutely think he's cursed. To play all around the table here and to finish right there, he's just so unlucky to finish there. I mean, anything, even if it comes down and it touches it, you know, but it's absolutely dead weight to drop on it and not move it. I mean, I think he's really unlucky.
Okay, as long as he doesn't start thinking that he's cursed out there, that's the, that's the main one.
It was quite brutal from Stephen to say poor, but look, playing devil's advocate to John and backing Stephen up, what Stephen is saying is, like, there's the possibility of laying on that red, take that out of the equation by playing it harder, but he's sending the cue ball round off sort of like 12, 13 foot. You know, that's why Stephen Hendry's 7 times world champion, one of the greatest break builders of the game.
All I'll say on the subject
tough.
is,
that's
right,
tough.
Yeah.
Put him back in that position and ask him to do what he's just done.
Yeah.
He'd be there a month.
But, you know, doesn't it underline the finest of margins that separates you from staying with Ronnie when he's clearly in the moods he is today?
Yeah, and also, you know, like that, going back to this, you know, the unluckiness of laying on that red, what can happen on the snooker table will happen. And your job, when you're amongst the balls, at the top of the table especially, is to take all of those bad luck equations out of the situation. So the best players play the best positional play because they never chance to luck.
OK. It's a tough school, Stephen
Tough.
Hendry, isn't it?
Well, my only comeback to those 2 gentlemen is, I wonder what Ding was thinking when he landed there. Do you think he was thinking unlucky, or what a shot played there? With a lot of room to land the cue ball in.
I know what I'd have been thinking. How unlucky am I? Yeah, always difficult then, full length, striking down. Now where's the red running to? Is the blue going to come to Ding's aid? It has. And Ronnie O'Sullivan came into rock and roll star, and there's no bigger one than that man there. Oh, pal Ronnie Wood. He's in the house. Lovely to see you, mate. That's not like Ronnie. Straightforward safety shot. Should have been aware he was going to knock a red towards the corner. Oh, can't get much closer, but if you look where the cue ball's finished, he was on nothing. He's played to stun round the back of the black for the black in the same pocket, so he didn't hit it that well. And it was half a chance. Played this nicely. Good tap on the table from Ronnie. But if the black does go to the left corner, Ronnie may take this red on, the one he's looking at now. He's looking to see, well, I assume the black does go. Or if it doesn't go, he's just wondering whether the red to the left of it, well, it goes. It goes. But he thinks it's best playing the safety, but he needs a good cue ball, because I think Ding Junhui would be tempted. If he catches that yellow full in the face, Ding may have a go at this. If the black goes, I'm certain he will.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised Ronnie didn't fancy it, and Ding doesn't fancy it either.
Well, maybe it's one of those blacks that you feel as though you need to be right behind it to make the pot easy. But it looks from behind the pocket as though it goes.
This is a good shot. And it's probably the best safety Ding's played in this match so far.
There's the black, but neither player at the moment seem to want to risk. I mean, no way that Ronnie can do that here. Ronnie's faced with a very tough safety. Couldn't have done much better than that. No way back to balk, it was too risky. Well, he's looking at something here, is Ding Junhui. Well, is that a plant? You can only hit the first ball, sort of half ball if you like. Now he's decided that it's too risky. Oh, that's a nice little nudge on the blue. If the blue stops Ronnie coming down the left-hand side of the table, that's a nice little nudge on the blue there. Can he get past the blue? Looks as though he can. It's all about fractions, this game. If Ronnie couldn't get past the blue there, he couldn't have got back to the balk end. Oh, He wouldn't hurt a fly. And he wouldn't. Good safety. Beautiful length. And it's Ronnie that's been having to play the containing safeties. Shoes on the other foot now. Ding's got to be very careful, because the black is partly free, the blue's in the open. A mistake now could be costly. Yeah, normally when you play the containing safety shot, you try to run the cue ball down to this top cushion, but it's not as straightforward as that, this. And if you try to get back to balk, it's almost impossible. Got to think of something.
I suppose the red that's to the right of the pink, if he just plays that dead weight off the left-hand side as he looks at it, leaves the cue ball maybe somewhere in his bottom right-hand corner pocket. And you're just hoping no reds pop out and the table stays true. If he goes in off, it wouldn't be the worst result, but he's playing the other one. Well, I'll settle for that.
Yeah, that was what he was concerned about. The red he did, the second red he made contact with, he was frightened of hitting that fuller. If he didn't hit it fuller, he'd left it on. Ronnie having a look at this thin cut to the right middle. Boy, this will take some potting. He's having another look. And of course, he'd have to do a bit with the cue ball to avoid the off in the far left corner pocket. Maybe he feels he can play it, and the only red will leave is the one he's going for.
I don't know if he can get enough into the cue ball to screw the cue ball to the left cushion before it hits the baulk cushion. If not, that cue ball is going to be running pretty wild. But he seems to have made his mind up to take it on. Let's see how he addresses the cue ball. Yeah, bottom left-hand side. Clever shot, really. Shot to nothing. He's never leaving anything.
Yeah, and the one thing that he was concerned on here, and obviously he wanted to pot it, but as Stephen said, he needed to hit that left-hand side cushion. He knew the red near the green would be covered. Decent reply. Looks like both players now have got the pace of the table regarding safety. What a wonderful shot. almost tight under the ball cushion, and he slots it in. Beautiful and perfect on the yellow. Not much you can do about that.
And it was nice as well, a natural path for the cue ball to go through the bunch. The yellow was always going to be available. Worrying signs already in this match for Ding Junhui.
Three. Four.
That's okay.
8.
He doesn't really want to be concentrated on the black or even the pink at the moment, because the black spot is available, but it just get tied up with the red just to the right of the black spot. So quite happy to play for the blue, and now he may play for that red to the right of the black spot, clearing the path for either pink and black to go on that spot. Now, will he play for the black along the top cushion? It can be a little bit risky to play for that. Deciding to go up for the blue.
50.
Just the wrong side. It's just something about his manner, Stephen. You know, normally you'd expect him to roll that red in and maybe play the black along the top cushion, but I think he just wants to cut out any silly mistakes and just keep the pressure on his opponent.
Yeah, you said it earlier on, he never takes any risks anymore. It's almost, you would never call Ronnie O'Sullivan a percentage player, but he does, as we see, I'm going out of position, but he does play the percentages, never takes any undue risks. Table's been recovered. It will be playing slightly easier along the cushions, but because of that black, he'd have to play it with a bit of pace to get out for another red. That's why he's not going to take the risk.
Yeah, it'd probably be ruining the fact that he didn't play for the black, because when he played for the blue, he didn't get a good angle on the blue, and that's why he was trying to force the angle.
O'Sullivan, 20.
But at least you don't miss. As I always say, it's a simple matter, but if you pop the ball, you get to play the next shot, and that's a good safety.
Got to get this right. Avoid all the other reds, and he has. Okay, a bit strong, but the important thing was not cannon any other reds down that end of the table.
Line of 3 reds just below the pink. The bottom one will cut to the right corner. And he's knocked a few of these in already in this match. You'd think he'd play a pot because it's dangerous to leave that red near the left corner. Oh, cracker, another cracker.
1.
Long pot success, 80%.
6.
Nothing for Ding Junhui at the moment. He's had 3 goals at long pots and missed all 3 of them. Obviously the
7.
pink will go into the left corner. So the pink goes on its own spot, but it's available into certainly the right middle. Probably still goes to the left corner. Didn't have
40.
the best angle on that red, so decided to go up for the blue. Just about got the angle he was looking for.
$90. $20.
So 46 points the lead.
86.
83 remaining, so we're probably looking at 4 more reds. And there's certainly, well, 3 reds
27.
that were in the open. That was one of them. Inch perfect once again on the blue. Makes it so much easier when you get good positional players. Ronnie's doing here.
32.
So it's now a case of red, colour red.
33.
So this red will put him 60 points ahead with just 59 remaining.
39.
Yeah, it's not been given any century breaks yet in this match. But what Ronnie O'Sullivan does so well, his concentration's so good. He very rarely misses an easy shot. A lot of other top players are always throwing a miss here now and then.
47. $52.
Well, the red's not going in, but once again, Ding stays in his chair. It's just one-way traffic at the moment. A couple of tremendous long pots from Ronnie, and it sees him now with a 3-0 lead.
It took 12 minutes of strategy before Ronnie made the breakthrough that broke the deadlock there, in effect. But after that safety shot from Ding, it didn't look likely, did it, John?
It's almost unfair. You know, you're playing the best player that's ever lived, but Ding plays a really, safety shot here. Couldn't play this any better. Ronnie actually comes to the table and taps the table because he's played it so well. Look, you see the cue there, just the appreciation. And you put him there in the ball cushion and you think, oh, well, that's all right. He's tapping the table. That must be great. Then he gets down, slightly raises the cue, and goes and knocks this in, and it seems almost unfair. Brilliant pot. Okay, he didn't win the frame off that. He was a bit late, another good long pot later on, but this is the pressure you're under all the time.
Yeah. Agreed, Steve, yeah?
Yeah, it's not just looking ominous for Ding in this match. I'd say it's looking ominous for the rest of the season in whichever matches and tournaments Ronnie decides to play in, because I can't see... Look, I know all the players are great, Yeah, but at the moment, it just seems like Ronnie's playing at another level. And he's done that before, but he just seems to be like, at the moment, seems to be having everybody on the back foot. So the Masters, yeah, I think he can win it now. I know there's other great players left in the tournament. And come the World Championship, I think he's going to be best placed to win that as well.
It's really interesting you mention this. We talked to him the other day in the studio about the pursuit of perfection, which used to really get to him, I think, and even he would admit that over the last few years. But since teaming up with Steve Feeney, he seems to be far more able to take the mistakes, to concentrate and focus on the wins rather than the pursuit of perfection. And that's why you see here, you've got 58, 75, 52. OK, he's not knocking in centuries, but that's enough, it seems to me, to be...
Yeah, he's been easier on himself, hasn't he? That's the thing to say, because I've seen performances where he's coming in, he's made 3 centuries, couple of 18. Oh yeah, I played all right today, and other people will be. That's a peak performance for other players for their lifetime, and he's not happy with that. But he is now. He seems to be happy with just enjoying it and getting the job done. It's
also quite funny, isn't it, that sort of Ronnie's got, it appears, I don't know for sure, other interests outside of the game that he spends time indulging in or doing. Okay. With other players, we'd be going, oh, he's not interested in snooker enough. He's got other activities that's taking his mind away from snooker. But with Ronnie, it's the opposite way round.
It seems that is where he finds the release in order to be able to concentrate when he does play.
Yeah, but the others, we're asking them to play 100% all the time to be committed.
One thing I will agree totally with Stephen Hendry is he's looked totally different today, Ronnie. Should totally focus from the first 2 matches he played.
Absolutely. As the pressure comes on. It is Hendry, who's always been able to rise to the challenge, and so too, like Stephen, it's Ronnie today.
Lining up to take this red. Looks pretty straight. There's a test of cueing. Okay, he knew the only red he could leave potential was one he was playing, and that's just sneaked past the middle pocket, so no danger.
No danger, and we're just having a look at this red. Surely he's not going to go off the baulk cushion, is he? Is he going to go off the baulk cushion? And try and pot the red? Well, it mustn't be possible because he's playing safe to the baulk end. Could have done without kissing the brown, but obviously he thinks this red doesn't go. Yeah, you can see it's tight to the jaw, so he's probably right.
Roddy O'Sullivan special here around the angles, try and get in behind that brown. That's whether he can get enough side on the cue ball, just couldn't get it wide enough.
Say warm water, you know, is good for the digestion. That's why he has his cup of warm water, and to keep his hands warm. Yeah. I'd have to have 3 sugars in it, though.
That's always the danger with that shot. Forced into playing that containing safety shot, Ding Junhui. Ronnie will leave the cue ball pretty much where the red is. An angle to take those 2 reds away from where the black is.
1.
Just got to be careful when you play the shot that the first red you can on doesn't stay there. You want to get clear that one away from the black spot as well. Something distracting Ronnie from playing the shot. That red has stayed there, but I think there's plenty of room for the black to go in its spot.
8.
And if the red's available, that really does help the cause. And yeah, you can see that red clearly goes, so
9.
no problems here at all.
And our ever optimistic director tells you that it's 2 reds and this is the second black coming up.
$60.
Well, it'd be a good one with that red where it is
70.
beside that left middle pocket. I suppose John, if he got that far, could maybe play 1 red in off it into the middle pocket. That would one way of clearing it away, but he won't be thinking about it at the moment.
No, I think he's come out with his game face on,
24.
and if he can go into that mid-session interval with a 4-0 lead, he won't be bothered about maximums or anything of the sort. In fact, I don't think he'll play for the black off this red.
Of course, we are waiting for the 147th 147, aren't we, in the game? Who's going to do that? You have to bet against this man doing it.
25.
Just spotted a little bit of fluff. But have a steady hand to remove the fluff, really.
$31. $32.
He won't be happy with that one. You can see a slight grimace. Overhit that. Well, for Ronnie Sullivan by a long way. 2 or 3 inches too far.
Yeah, he's lost the cue ball for the time being.
24.
Not far enough back for that. Play for this red to the middle. May have to play it for the corner now. No problem.
35.
But this could be the key shot to the frame. There's no obvious red to play on. Those 2 reds on the right-hand side of the table, possibility could be made in a plant, but a perfect angle on the green if he wants to play the cannon. Cannon it is. Didn't work out.
Yeah, wanted to miss the pink here.
38.
Didn't want to catch the pink at all. Didn't really have enough pace in the cue ball either, you'd have to say. No, this is a tormented, very, very tough afternoon for Ding Junhui. Seems every time he comes to the table at the moment, he's faced with a major problem.
Well, I've thrown a line out here. That's all I can see. The only problem is with this type of shot, it's like the blue is twice the size in the middle of the table.
If he takes that path, if he just creeps past that red and the cushion that he's playing for on the left-hand side, he sticks it up to the right corner pocket.
And he doesn't have to come off the top or the baulk cushion. He can, if he can get to the side cushion. Whatever, he's in a spot of bother. And we know the misrule can be very costly. Referees don't take into account how difficult the escape is. They're basically saying you got to hit one. Well, he's playing a lot of left-hand side on this, trying to come off 2-3 cushions. Oh, it's a good line. It's a good line. It's a good line. Is it going to be hard enough?
Foul. And this.
Great effort.
Sullivan, 4.
But the problem is, when you're striking down like that to get the swerve on the ball, it takes a lot of the pace out of it. So, although he had the perfect line there, he's not guaranteed to hit it this time. And as Stephen said, if he slides past it, he leaves it.
Fabulous attempt that was, really.
Ronnie.
Some more pace on this one. Well,
Foul.
Ronnie tapped the table, I think in appreciation of
Sullivan,
they
4.
didn't hit the red, the attempt. I don't think Ronnie's going to take the miss, you know.
No, well, you know, the misrule is very harsh. I mean, that one particularly is, you know, I mean, it was such a difficult snooker to escape. So fair play to Ronnie for not having it replaced. Yeah, deserving round of applause there. I think players should do that a bit more often, to be honest with you. I mean, sometimes you're having to go 4 or 5 cushions, miss it by a hair's breadth, and then they have it replaced, you know. And sometimes it's off a snooker they fluked.
Yeah, Ronnie could appreciate the attempts and how difficult it was, the shot Ding Junhui was playing. Great sportsmanship.
Well, he keeps having a look at this red. I think both players agreed it's not potable. So is he just pushing it past the middle pocket? Is he hoping gravity takes over? No, just pushing it past the pocket. Ronnie looking at the possibility here of a 3-ball plant. It'd have to be a natural. There's certainly a path back to the baulk end. He's just checking to see if he does play it and leaves the red in this half of the table, that he doesn't leave that red to the left middle. Is it a plant? It's not far off. It's not far off, I'll tell you. But he's more concerned in getting that cue ball back to the baulk cushion, which he's done.
These are tough shots to get right when you're hitting across the red. It's a thin contact. It's pretty well played. Ronnie's coming around to look at the potting angle. He feels that this does cut in, shot to nothing. Just play this with a little helping left-hand side. It just helps widen the angle with the cue ball.
Another wonderful pot. I think that's another thing that needs mentioning, Stephen. Mark Williams went to the sight-right guy, Steve Feeney, and I know Ronnie's been working with him, and Ronnie's long game certainly seems to be more consistent than it was.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 today. Most of them, if not all of them, being shots to nothing, but very good shots to be able to pot regularly.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Nothing for Ding Junhui to go at again. There you see long pot success. Ding 0%, Ronnie 71%. I'll settle for that. Anything in the mid-60s upwards is good long pot success. Because as Stephen said, quite a lot of the long pots are played a shot for nothing. If they don't go in, it goes on the safety success. Anyway, there's a chance for Ronnie. And if he can knock this in, you'd think his guaranteed position are either blue or green. Just taking his time. Somebody has just appeared from nowhere and found a seat. And there's not many seats to find. Already with a 47-point lead. Right in the heart of the pocket. Not quite on the blue as he would have liked, so may opt for the green.
This was pured, absolutely pured.
Yeah, I think because he can get his hand on the table, he'd prefer to play the blue, but the green looks the better ball for position. But he probably thinks the blue's an easier pot. That's why he's seeing if that red will drop into the left middle. We'll see how he plays this. He obviously thinks it might do, or the red immediately above the black he's on. Whatever. It's a chance to go to that mid-session interval. Oh, he's absolutely perfect. What a chance now for 4-0.
Seven. $14.
Well, apart from that chance that Ding Junhui had in the second frame, it's been a hugely dominant performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan in these first 4 frames. He's completely outplayed his opponent in every department.
80.
You've seen all these stats, and there you see it just pot success went up
26.
before our very eyes there from 93% to 94.
27.
Safety success. Well ahead, as I said.
34.
Sheer dominance of an opponent.
35.
Yes, and as you pointed out earlier, the dominance has been by treating your opponent with respect, but still
42.
playing the right shot, the attacking shot at the right time. And
43.
full of confidence, with all the ability in the world, just the start that Ronnie would be looking for. And for Ding Junhui, well, he's sat in the loneliest seat in the world. There you see him in the background. And Sting is just flying in right there over the pocket. It is a pleasure to watch. Maybe not so if you're Ding Junhui.
54. 56.
Just going to negotiate, missing the pink and blue. If he's going to go around the table for the brown. Well, he won't be too bothered about the green.
56, Santa Fran.
As I said, a totally dominant performance by Ronnie O'Sullivan. And hard to see a way back now for Ding Junhui. Trails 4 frames to 0.
Morning at 10 o'clock. See what you'll be doing in 2020. You see what I did there? You're going to get an awful lot of puns about 2020 just like that. Anyway, O'Sullivan is in runaway mode today. Can Ding slow him up? Back to Stephen and John.
Yes, that is the question. We say on many occasions that intervals can change a match, but from what we've seen so far, it's going to take, well, a lot to stop this man in his tracks. Ding Junhui has got to get in, and he's got to score.
Thank you, frame 5.
He's only had a few chances. That's the wonderful trophy that somebody tomorrow evening will be picking up. Will it be a record 8th for this man? So this break-off shot that Steve Davis was trying to demonstrate at the interval. And Ronnie plays it left-handed. There's the match time. Just over the hour mark for 4 frames. That's pretty quick. And Ding, 34. Well, he's usually a lot quicker than that. But of course, if you're not in amongst the balls and scoring, then you do slow down, and that's another very poor safety shot, I'm afraid. He's not making Ronnie work for his openings here. It's not good signs for Ding Junhui and his supporters. Yeah, snooker's such a brutal sport at the top level. You just got to sit in your chair and suffer, as Ding has for, well, 3.5 frames of this match. I said earlier, every time he's come to the table, he's had a problem. Absolutely nothing he can do about what's going on. Apart from that chance in the second frame, it's been more or less trying to play containing safety shots. He's not even been able to, a lot of the time, play aggressive safety shots. Wow.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
As I said before, very rare you see Ronnie O'Sullivan miss easy pots, and I can only assume there he's watching the cannon, watching the cue ball, and just took his, well, that was a Willie Thorne blue, wasn't it, John? Yeah, for those of you who don't remember, just ask Willie about it. It happened in 19 blah, 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 and Steve Davis in the UK. But yeah, all eyes on the cannon, forgot the pot. One. And isn't it always the way at this game? He played that red. In all honesty, I thought he'd have played it with a bit more pace. Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing. It looked like he was playing almost to try and promote the black, but yeah, just get the cue ball out of there. Got to be on the blue. Must be on the blue. But he's on nothing. Looks like he can't even have a go at the yellow because he's hampered with that red nearest his bridge hand. Or is he taking the yellow one? I suppose at 4-0 down, be aggressive. Good pot. That's what he has to do. He's had no success so far today, trying to compete in the safety game.
Well, that might give him a G. Could not have struck that better.
Four.
And just about on the black.
Now you can see a red just below the pack. Screw back off the cushion. Leave the red to the same pocket. Hasn't hit it hard enough. So again, these are the ones half of you sort of looking where the cue ball's going. It's so easy to take your mind off the pot. Well done.
12.
So if he's not on the blue, it looks like if he's going to keep this break going, it's going to be a long green.
And as you can clearly see, he's not on the blue. And, well, he took the yellow on. He's bound to take the green on. But can you keep knocking these difficult shots in? And there's pressure on this with all the reds open. Well, right in the heart of the pocket. So every credit to him. 2 good pressure pots
50.
there.
Yeah, and great appreciation from this 1900 crowd and the Alexandra Palace. They want to see a match. Obviously, probably 95% of them want Ronnie to win, but I think everyone wants to see a match here. Another clean pot, and that
6.
was a nice kiss. Okay, he's hampered a little bit. He's got a bridge over the red, but he's got a perfect angle in the black, just to stun up for a red to the right-hand corner.
As you say, slightly hampered. He could play the blue with a trace of right-hand side. Just got to avoid a kiss on the green. Blue's unmissable, you would think. And that check side got him to miss the green. Needs to slow up, though. Needs to slow up.
21.
Not on the red closest to the right corner. There's another red, though, that will go to the right corner, but not the one he played on.
Again, he just can't get pinpoint position to the place where you think, okay, I'm going to win the frame now. He might have to play for the red and the black cushion here. If he's screwing back, this needs to be timed to perfection.
Away. 22.
Made the black more difficult, as Stephen said, and I was in agreement. I thought he may risk and play for the red along the top cushion, but he didn't fancy that. So trying to do so much with the cue ball, that's what caused him to miss the black.
Yeah, and that red looks like it's tight on the black cushion, which makes it pretty much unmissable. So, just a millimetre off the cushion, but that was the red to play for, I feel. Had nothing to do with the cue ball. But sometimes, John, when you're 4-0 down, you don't think properly a lot of the time, do you?
Absolutely, I think that's one thing you've got to remember. I mean, you come out with a clear mind, but when you're 4-0 down, it gets a bit clouded. And you see players make unbelievable decisions sometimes. But it's all the situation that causes that. And we all know that a lot of to do with snooker is between the ears. Just having to play a containing safety. Trying to nestle on one of these two reds near the top cushion. Lovely line. Lovely length. Well played.
If I was putting forward the case for Ding to win this match, I think he has to win these first 3 frames without reply of this little second session. Any other result and he's not going to win. Tall order.
Well, he's left a pot on. Ronnie will decide whether it's worth the risk, and I think what will determine that is whether he can get position on a colour. If he can't, he can play the red half ball and get the cue ball back to the balk end. Doesn't have to play the pot. Well, in the end, he felt as though he could get position on the blue, but playing the deep screw made the pot more difficult. Now, where's this red running to? Well, Ding Junhui can't get past the blue, but the red below the pink looks to be on. Comes to the table with a 21-point lead, but the ball's not ideally situated.
Well, that was a lot more difficult shot than it looked, and even more difficult when you're 4-0 behind. Just trying to hold for the pink to the right middle. Ronnie O'Sullivan can use the second red here to get the cue ball out of there. Pot the red into the red that's furthest away from the cushion into the right corner and almost get a double kiss off the other red.
Well, I thought Ronnie had been a bit fortunate there, but no, nice easy starter for Ding, and if he can just nudge that red away from the blue, that's what he'd like to do. Clear the blue.
1.
He wants all the high value colours in play. Played it nicely.
You'd have to say the interval is just taking a little bit of the sting out of Ronnie O'Sullivan's concentration. You would think if there was no interval, he definitely would have won the match 6-0, John.
Yeah, but fair play to Ding. He's probably tremendous yellow, tremendous green. Okay, didn't make the most of it, but that sort of, if you like, give him the advantage in this frame. But it's still a very awkward table. Those 3 reds just above the pink, not in potable positions. That pink now puts him 34 points in front. Still a possible 83 remaining, so you would think he's going to need at least 4 of these reds to clinch the frame.
He's got options here. He can leave the cue ball where the red is, an angle in the pink to go into the 3 reds. He could play for the black, get that on a spot, come down for the red on the black cushion. I think he'll play the cannon into the 3 reds. You'll just play a little cannon. The red that's closest to the black cushion, as we look at it, just flick that, take the cue ball past it, leave a red to right middle possibly. Played it stronger than I thought, but that's still well played.
Sweat.
Had to make contact with that first red, whichever way he played it. 41 points the lead, so These 3 open reds will be enough with high value colours.
That's gone wrong, particularly if the blue doesn't go to the left corner. And it doesn't look as though it does. No. Now he's potted a few good, well, terrific yellow, terrific green. Using the rest. No, give me this. And it goes, but what's the position like on the next red? It needs to run on, otherwise he's on nothing. That's end of break.
C3.
Yeah, it's been another shot like the second frame where
23.
a blue in and out of bulk, and it's not sort of a red this time, but going in and out of bulk, and it's caused them a problem. Can Ronnie get through to this red? To the left corner?
Yeah, is there a gap? There's always a gap. Now he needs to stop short to the baulk line or kiss the yellow.
1.
Having done neither, has he got an angle on the yellow to come down? Well, the only red really he could play for is the one that's just to the left of the pink. What sort of an angle has he got on this yellow? Oh, not bad. Just about make it. Of course, the thing is, with all the good pots that Ding Junhui has played, he's had 3 great chances in this frame. And
3.
he still couldn't get over the line. Will he get a better chance? Those 2 reds near the left-hand side cushion are going to be the problems for Ronnie.
Oh, he has got an angle in the blue. He could go into the 2 reds here, and here's the left corner pocket. A little bit unlucky, I have to say. Played that perfectly. Okay, this red's on. If it's tight, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I think that's just putting him off it slightly. He's having to... Oh, it is tight. Well, if he catches it right, it's unmissable. Even though he is hampered. I fancy him potting this. Oh, it was just slightly wide. He just didn't catch it right, so the red clung to the cushion. And that made all the difference. Yeah, when you watch it, it was just sort of coming away from the cushion. If it had hit it correctly, it had clung to the cushion. And Ding now just, well, he's looking there. But he only needs the red, and he won't be missing this. This red will put him 44 points ahead with just 35 remaining.
9.
If this goes in, I don't think Ronnie will bother carrying on. Well, it hasn't gone in.
Ding 9.
So Ronnie comes to the table, 44 behind, 35 remaining. So at the moment, 3 4-point snookers required. That's one way to get it, but he'd be a bit disappointed, Ronnie, here. He missed an easy blue early on in the frame when he was concentrating so much on the cannon. and it will annoy him slightly. He knows he's had his chance, and Ding has needed 4 chances to clinch it. And in a way, I'm surprised Ronnie's playing on. As I say, 3 4-point snookers required at the moment.
Yeah, and as you say, John, the fact that Ding's taken 4 chances, it won't really give him tremendous confidence. If he'd won it in one visit, he would feel a bit better, but he's scraped over the line, really. I agree with you. If I was Ronnie, I'd be setting the balls up. You're 4-1 ahead. Get on with the next frame.
I suppose he could push the red towards the black and hope that Ding Junhui makes a mistake and knocks the black in. But no. As I say, I'm surprised. Anyway, it won't go on for much longer because he's left this red now. And this red will dot the I's and cross the T's in this frame. What it should have done, he's run out of ink. Well, that green going near the yellow is a target there now for snookers. You can get in behind that. Brown helps. And of course, there's always this black being over the corner. If you could get the red tight to the black, you might force your opponent to knock the black in. But that's a remote possibility, you would have thought. Longest frame of the match so far. Where's the cue ball going? Hang on, Ronnie needs the snookers. Ooh, is this nestling the red up to the black? Ooh, another couple of rolls and it'd have made it awkward for Ding. Gotta be a little bit careful. Yeah, no problem. Well, I'm a little bit surprised he is playing on, but now we've got the blue, the yellow, the green, the brown. All potential balls you can snooker behind. Well, they were. The brown now is sort of out of commission for snookers, as is the pink. Trying to sneak past that green. Not quite.
I thought for a minute he was going to leave the red on to the right corner, but a series of little flicks. It's still not left Ding Junhui a pot. And Ding's definitely going to be snookered here. How tight to the green can Ronnie O'Sullivan get this cue ball? It's obviously now big danger of the in-off. Obviously he could pot the red if he gets it thin enough. Has he gone straight in off, or has he catch the knuckle? Oh, lucky. What judgment. Good effort. Good effort. the end now. I'm surprised that Ronnie O'Sullivan played on in this game, but in the end it is Ding Junhui that's going to get his first frame on the board. As I said earlier, not a convincing win. It won't give him a whole load of confidence going forward in the match.
No, but
10.
we always say you don't settle until you get your first frame on the scoreboard, and he's now done that. Ronnie's certainly drawn it out.
$13. 70.
Well, it didn't matter about the blue in that frame. He went on a lot longer than it should have done. I'm surprised Ronnie played on, but he made Ding work for his first frame. And that's what he's got on the scoreboard, but he still trails by 4 frames to 1.
Yeah, still determined not to give Ding even 1 frame easily, and that was very marked, wasn't it?
Well, you're saying that, Hazel, but we're going to pick a situation out early in the frame where there's a shot he played, and he really didn't have to play this. And he's got a nice, easy safety shot to play, and that's asking a lot, to be honest with you. In as good as he is, to pot that and screw out, that was a really difficult shot, and he didn't have to play it.
Yeah, and also he played another shot a lot when he played that red along the top cushion. It looked like he potted it, but he didn't once again have to go for that shot. And if this was another player, possibly, we'd be going, why let your opponent get in easily? So we may be criticising other players for it, but all of a sudden you sort of expect Ronnie to pot everything. But there's a time and a place for every shot, and he may have just sort of took his foot off the gas a bit. And considering how much effort he put into trying to get the snookers at the end,
yeah,
he wasn't as granite at the start.
Interesting. Right. Okay. So from Ding's point of view, he's got 1 on the board. Hugely difficult to play today, Ronnie O'Sullivan. What would you be saying to him out there right now, John?
Well, he'd be slightly encouraged by one or two of those shots he's watched him play, because it's not disrespectful. We're not saying that, but he really hasn't. It wasn't the same focus there that it was in the first 4 frames. I agree with what Stephen said in commentary before. He said if this had carried on and no interval, it'd have been 6-0.
Yes.
So I think having that little interval has just took a little bit of focus away, because the shot selection definitely wasn't of the same standard in that frame as it was before the interval.
Okay, so that's a concentration thing from Ronnie's point of view, would you say, Steve, or not?
Well, he is possibly, if he knocks the ball in and he wins a frame, he's possibly 6-0, easy day. Perhaps he thought he had a little bit of breathing space, he could do that.
Quickly, please.
But I don't think he'll be playing as openly for the rest of the match. He may go back to playing the granite stuff he did in the first session. You play the balls that you see on the table. You can't necessarily have a game plan, but certainly Ronnie's started off this match in great form, mentally, so I think he'll probably return to that.
Yeah, you were saying unplayable in those first 4 frames. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if there's a little bit of life left in this semi-final. Back we go. It's 4-1 now.
Well, obviously the latecomers from after the interval are coming into the auditorium now. It's taken a while to get everyone
Thank you.
in.
Frame 6. Ding Junhui to break.
Looks to be another decent break off from Ding Junhui.
The best safety shot there from Ronnie. A little bit thin on the contact. That's why the cue ball was coming in out of the balk or on and off the balk cushion. And on the table, it should be easy enough for Ding to play a better safety. And considering he did get his hand on the table, That was a weak safety shot. Well, he's having a look at this red down the side cushion. I mean, he could be playing safe off it. Lots of left-hand side. And he was. But he's sending the red towards the corner, and he's not going to get any help from the brown. So he's left a nice, easy starter for Ding Junhui. Loose, that.
One.
Could have tried to play it in and out of bulk with top spin, but decided just to leave the medium range red.
6.
Not sure if the black's available to the right corner. If pink's available to the right middle. Let the stun run through. Nice crisp pot. Just I'd like to maybe just add another extra couple of inches. The cue ball there.
Looks like the red just below the pink. He's holding the pink spot. He wouldn't like to lose the pink spot or lose the pink going up the tail to the green spot, so can play a little cannon on that red as we look now just to the right of the pink. Keeps the pink at this end, but decided that that wasn't going to offer him the best position. So the pink spot not being available, the only spot available is the green spot.
13.
He's not perfect on this red though by any means. Pressure on this.
And a good pot.
14.
And nicely held for the blue. Play for the red that's closest to the black cushion here. Just stun cue ball down to the cushion. He'd love to be straight enough on the red to be able to hold for the black. I think he is.
19.
May possibly have to go back up for the blue. If he was straight on that red, he could have just stunned up for the black, gone into the bunch and held for the red to the right corner. Could have gone into the reds there.
25.
Love to win the frame at this visit.
86.
Looks as though that top red, that little pyramid, is available
31.
to the left corner. There you see it. Now it depends how he wants to play this. If he's got designs on after playing this red and the next colour to go into the cluster, he may decide it's better to go into them off the blue. It's easy to get on the black, but the cannon off the blue he might favour. And that's what
32.
he's decided to do. So it's the cannon.
If he is playing the cannon, obviously the top red that he's going to make contact with, don't catch that half ball either side. You could go in off here. May not even play the split. Yeah, he's just holding for this red to the right corner. I think because of the shape of the bunch, possibly better going into them from the black.
38.
Again, oh, he's looking, see him line up his cue there. I think, if anything, I'd favour the left-hand side of the bunch as Ding's looking down at the table, because those two reds at the right side are always there. Yeah, that was well played. Oh, is he on nothing? Surely not.
43.
Oh, he's got this red to the left corner. He is going to have to bridge over the other red. Shouldn't be a problem. Now this is a great chance to win the frame at one visit.
44.
Good stuff here from Ding Junhui. It's more like it.
Yeah, there's a completely different atmosphere in this Alexander Palace Arena at the moment. I think everybody went out at the mid-session interval thinking, well,
50.
probably come back, see another couple of frames from Ronnie. Now all of a sudden, Ronnie's played a few loose shots. I mean, Ding Junhui got in with a loose safety from Ronnie, which is unusual, leaving a red over the corner. And a few risky shots he played in the last frame.
55.
Well, it'd be ironic. Ronnie's dominated this match so far. If Ding makes the first century break.
Just the red needed. Goal
63.
64 ahead with just 59 remaining.
Well done. I was just thinking, John, if Ding makes a century here, obviously, you know, I was saying it'd be great for him to win a frame one visit. That could actually go against him. It could inspire Ronnie to get back on top form. You see your opponent knocking a 100 break.
71.
Might be the wake-up call that he needs to get his focus back. But this is definitely what Ding needed.
72.
As long as he can keep Ronnie O'Sullivan at 4 frames, where he needs 2 for victory, he'll have a glimmer of hope.
8. $87. 88.
Purposely playing for the pink. Let's have the pink back on its spot. Now red and a blue would get us to the century, or a pink. Black.
94.
Basically, you imagine the table is the stage, and by making this century,
95.
Ding Junhui just stealing the limelight slightly off Ronnie. Interesting to see what response we get from the rocket after that. But a marvellous break from Ding Junhui.
102.
Played it really well.
104.
That was the 19th century of this year's Masters. And Ding Junhui's 4th.
Thank you. 107.
Well, it doesn't matter about the brown. I don't think he was too bothered either.
107 and the frame.
And that 107 break will make him feel a lot better. And he, as I say, stole the limelight a little bit there from Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'll look forward to the next frame with interest. Ronnie still leads 4-2.
Thankfully on it, very hard now.
Yes, although there was one particular shot where he opened the pack very gently and very cleverly as well. We were discussing, Steve was discussing how he was going to go about opening the pack. Most players, I think, would have probably gone into them hard, the screw-back shot, as we've seen so often, hitting the apex rib. But that was a wonderful little shot there. You know, he knew he wasn't going to go in off. There's a possibility, but as long as he got a glancing blow on those balls without sort of hitting two at the same time, the glancing blow was going to guide that cue ball, and he had the running side to bring it back out. Beautiful shot.
More importantly, from Ronnie's point of view, momentum shift very much in this match, John.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned sort of the shot selection in the 4-0 game. You know, just given a little bit of an inkling to Ding to get in. He didn't make a big mistake there, just one mistake where he stuck a red over the corner. The rest of it was very good from Ding, but time to reboot, I would think.
Yes, intervals. We've talked about this a lot this week, actually. And I was saying to you, John, if you are 4-0 up in the match, how easy is it for you to lose slight focus? I guess I should rephrase that. How hard is it actually to keep your discipline and your focus coming back in after a 15-minute break?
It's very difficult. It's also very difficult to keep your focus when you're in front. You know, a bit like that sort of the loneliness of the long-distance runners. Sort of you lose concentration, you're looking over your shoulder a bit too much. To be relentless on the snooker table is a lot more pressure on than you actually think. But Ronnie was doing so well the first 4 sets. And we've picked up on this. He played a couple of loose shots in that frame at 4-0. And in as much as we were talking about Ding Junhui, don't ask for trouble with a positional shot at the start. Also, don't ask for your opponent to get back in it by giving him easy chances. So he may live to regret that frame.
This is a massive frame coming up, 4-3 on the scoreboard. That'll look brilliant for Ding.
Back we go.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Has he got the green for the cover? I don't think he has. No, there's a path to this red.
How does he want to play this, John? For the black, or bring the cue ball back up the table?
Well, it'd make the pot easier if he played for the black, but you've got to fully commit. With the knowledge if you miss it, you could be leaving your opponent in.
Brilliant. Brilliant shot. Exactly what you said, John. Fully committed.
Eight. Nine.
Definitely walking around the table with more purpose after that fine century break in the last frame.
60.
Certainly not beyond Ding Junhui to reel off 2, 3, 4 frames in one visit. That's his strength.
70. Four. T5.
Maybe just a touch straight in the black to go into the pack here.
No angle this time
32.
to play for the black. Well, unless that red just below the pink pot, he could. Oh yeah, it does. So he could run through, possibly play for the black. But I don't think he's thinking maximums at the moment. But he may do if he gets to
33.
about 64.
he's on the red. He has got an angle to come back for black here.
Foot.
This could tell us a story. He can just stun for the pink. Well, what a lovely shot. What a lovely shot. I've seen in the background, Ronnie Sullivan was just tapping his thigh there in appreciation of that. Such a great break building shot that was. Imagination. Just glance off the pack, stay position on this black ball. He's a good cannon here. It's okay.
Yep, and he's loosened the reds. 6 reds,
48.
6 blacks.
$49.
No danger being short this time. Remember that black in the second frame when he finished short in the red. Perfect
56.
now. There's only one thing in his mind now.
57.
Now just needs a good positional shot here to be able to get back on the black. Screwing off the side cushion. Needs to slow down. He's okay, he's just about on it. I mean, you say the red to the left
64.
middle is easier.
Decisions.
This one, he's got to drop it in dead weight. Well, tells me he's still thinking maximum. Well, he's going to stun round off 2 cushions here, but he'll be playing for the black, I'm certain. Otherwise, he won't be playing this red. And then it goes, and on the black.
65.
Again, appreciated by his opponent. Oh, he needs to strike this well. Straight on this black. Didn't quite get into the cue ball. There's red. It's a nice angle. Red to right middle, in and out of bulk.
72.
Yes, Ronnie looks on. The red's the frame winner, so he may as well play for the black. In it goes. Now just needs to miss the jaw and come away from the cushion. And that's nicely done.
Just needs to play a cannon here. I don't think any of the reds go. They're all covering each other. The 3 reds to the right, a cannon into those. If you want to be exact, the middle one of those 3 reds. Oh, there's a red to the left middle. Good play for it. He's played the cannon. He hasn't got into the cue ball.
What a pity.
8.
Can he root a plant out? Laugh to himself there. Is there a possibility of a plant? I think there is. That could still give him position on the black. Get in, you beauty!
91.
What a shot. What a shot. And didn't play it with any pace. You know, and there's no hint of desperation. It was so perfectly played.
$88.
As I said before, JV, the chance to make the 147th 147. What a moment in history of the game.
Yeah, you did mention it. Well, he's got a chance here. He can all he can do is wish him luck now.
96.
And Ronnie will be looking on, and he'll be rooting for him.
'97.
Now, they're there. You've got to hold yourself together, of course. That's the other big thing.
There's a century, still in perfect position.
104.
This has been fabulous. From the opening red, absolutely fabulous. Perfect on the black. Just got to make sure you're high on the red. Into the same pocket as the black. Come on, cue ball, keep moving. You have to be high on the red.
Run, run.
112.
Well, he's not far enough, but there's a chance. If he plays this with lots of topspin, he might be able to run through the pink and still get position on the black. No, he hit the wrong side of the pink. Well,
130.
You might as well go for the cut.
I thought he might have just stunned past the pink there and just leave a pot on the black. Even somewhere near that left middle pocket, at least should have had a go at the black there. Took a chance.
It's a thin one, and we'll know before he does. Does it go in? Does it go in? It goes in! Surely! Well, would you believe it? He's not perfect on the yellow.
120.
He needs another unbelievable shot. He's going back to his seat just to build himself up for it. Everybody rooting for him. What an effort!
Well, this could go down in history as the greatest 147 of them all. What a tough shot.
Hang on, middle pocket! Yes! It's meant to be, surely!
122.
Come on, Ding, keep your composure.
What a shame. What a shame, but what an effort from Ding Junhui. Absolutely unbelievable. Okay, he didn't make the maximum, but it doesn't get more exciting and more ambitious than that. He'll hang his head down, but the most important thing, it's another frame on the scoreboard. He's now only one behind.
Last black and got high on the red, and I think if he'd have got the high on the red and he'd had a clear-cut chance at the colours, I think he'd have cleared them.
Oh, didn't they love that here, John?
Yeah, in there, we should have seen it in here. It was absolutely all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, when the yellow's gone in, I've shouted, it's in the middle, straight in, and then of course it's a smelly little cut on the green, but fantastic theatre.
It was great theatre. Much more to the point, he's got to get himself back together again, because that has got him within one frame, should we forget here, of levelling with Ronnie now. No wonder Ronnie's gone out.
That's right. Well, Ronnie was enjoying the chat.
Yeah.
Ronnie was enjoying that, but he sensibly went out the room because there's going to be a lot of buzz in the room. I think perhaps, Ding could have gone, perhaps now, he would have walked out, might have helped him, he would come back in fresher rather than sitting there. But regardless, it's been a great effort from Ding in this second half. He really has taken it to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
It's very hard to pick yourself up again, we're sitting here and looking at the scores, and that's been great theatre, I mentioned it, but from Ronnie's point of view, he got a match to win it. I mean, his 4-0 was a cruise, looked like it was only one winner. All of a sudden, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, and the worrying thing is Ding's starting to score, and heavily.
Yeah, and actually Stephen Hendry mentioned at the start of this match he expected it to be a cue ball clinic, and we've really begun to see that from Ding in the last couple of frames, John.
Very much so. I mean, it's absolutely everything he's doing, with the exception of near the end of there when he didn't get on the last red, but the rest of it's just superb.
This semi-final has caught fire now.
Ding Junhui to break.
Well, I said Ding's initial target after the interval was win the first 3 frames without reply, and he's done that. Definitely back in this match. Well, Ding was dominated in the pot success department. No surprise at 4-0 down, but he's just creeped ahead of his opponent. As you would expect, 2 centuries in a row. He's gone ahead in the points as well. So we've got a match on now.
Yeah, he had that pot, but it's a little bit too straight. It's one of those, if you miss it, you'd rattle in the jaws and wouldn't get it safe, so just playing the containing safety. I think what Ronnie should be looking for now. He did get it in the 5th frame, but he's got to be looking for the first chance now to either win the frame in one visit or build up a lead. Because the last 2 frames, Ding Junhui has just stole the show. Breaks of 107 and 122. Well, that was a poor shot from Ding Junhui. I mean, there's no way you should be kissing the yellow full in the face. Not left anything easy, but he's left a chance of a couple of pots.
That shot possibly have a hangover of what's happened in the previous frame. Just needs to get his focus back. And concentration is a very difficult thing to get back. If you had it as Ronnie had, perfection in the first 4, then you've lost it. Sometimes it's very, very difficult to get that back, that intensity. It may take something like Ding coming back to 4-4.
So close, but not there. So Ronnie's got a nice easy starter. Not certain where the colour comes from though. I'll go back to that 5th frame though, when Ronnie was playing on when he needed 3 snookers. I could not for the life of me understand why. And that just sort of got him bogged down a bit. Anyway, as I say, easy starter. Where does the colour come from?
One.
No, that's all he could do. He's normally very reliable at this shot. Screw back the cue ball to somewhere around where it is just now.
Yeah, because there's a couple of reds just above the black that will be available. And he may be able to get in and around the black if he plays a good positional shot off this blue. Good cueing needed. He's not had a lot of table time, last 2 frames. But right in the heart of the pocket. And maybe the red just below the pink is available, which made that pot a little bit easier. Didn't have to play with the pace to screw back for the reds. They're just above and surrounding the black. Yes, this red goes.
Yeah, hitting a strike on a shot as well as that can certainly get your juices flowing again.
7.
Couldn't get the right side of the blue, but with the yellow not being on its spot, that's one baulk colour he doesn't have to avoid. Played it nicely.
12.
And you would think he'd be looking to play for the pink to the right middle off this red. He's desperate to get to those reds surrounding the black as soon as possible.
30.
Don't know if he can do it from here. Well, yes, I think he can if he's straight enough. And he's straight enough. now.
Yeah, a little slight grimace there, didn't he? Just wanted the angle on this red so he could pot it and follow through and flick the red away from the black. That's just to the right of the black. He's finished dead straight on this red. He'll have to screw back for pink to the same pocket. Didn't sound too healthy, that shot. He's okay. Possibly a little bit of a heavy contact. The cue ball just didn't accelerate when it was after he'd made contact with the red.
So playing for this red to the left of the black. I presume the black's on its spot, but I don't think you can get on the black without playing a little cannon here. So it's a delicate shot required. Played it nicely, but the problem is when the black's respotted, that red near the black spot will not be available. So just looking, not certain where the next red comes from.
Looks to be the only shot is possibly cannon the red away from the right hand side cushion. As long as he hit cushion first, he pretty much guaranteed having a pot of some kind.
34.
He's got one to the far left corner. These are tough because it's an awkward bridge hand. You know, clamping his hand onto the cushion there. That was a tough shot. Missed it by a fair way, you'd have to say. Chance for Ding Junhui.
Yeah, it was always a tough chance with the black sort of half covered by those three reds, but he broke down earlier than I expected. Oh, another one that just caught the jaw. And of course, when you get that close, if they don't go in, you're going to leave them.
Yeah, you always talk about fractions, JB, don't you? That red goes in, perfect on the blue. Play for the red next to the black. What a chance, but ominous. So the outcome of this frame, you would think, depending on the next shot. Deliberately playing for the pink. Oh, he's on playing. Looks like he's coming around for the black. I thought if he left an angle on the pink, could flick the red away that was next to it.
I think that's what he played, but he's come too straight, so I'm going to play the black into them, and he's okay. He's on one, that's all that mattered. But the main cluster of six is still there. He arcs around them, and he's not going to be able to win this frame without disturbing that cluster of six.
70.
So, will we run round here off two cushions? Plenty of top spin, left-hand side. Try and run into these reds off two cushions. That's what he's playing. That's what he's playing. But he's missed it. And if the brown's covering the red in that other half of the table, Ronnie with a slight problem. In fact, I wouldn't blame him if he just came off the top cushion and nestled into the back of these reds. He doesn't really want to open them. He's got a 56-point lead. Well, he's just going to roll into them. Well, I thought he was going to roll into them. I see no reason why he wouldn't, but he's played the attacking safety. But with that red in the baulk end, he could be leaving himself open to be in trouble next shot. see, 56 behind, 83 remaining, so if he does get a chance, plenty of points to play with.
One.
Very good pot.
Well, I'm not saying it's similar to that shot early on in the match, Stephen, where you said that's not unlucky. Well, it wasn't unlucky because he's nowhere near it. Should have been near the pink. And if he can't get a one cushion escape, then he's in trouble here. And of course, being 51 points behind, one more mistake, it's end of frame.
Yeah, cue ball shouldn't have been anywhere near the pink here. Huge gap between pink and blue. Cue ball to come down more to the middle of the table. What a chance that was for a counter-attack in this frame.
Yeah, and I must admit, once he rolled the red in, I thought he'd make the most of it after the way he's performed the last two frames, 2 centuries. You know, he's in good touch. Can't get to a natural angle here. He's going to have to play this as a ton aside, and well, I'll be surprised if he doesn't leave anything here. Trying to play twice across. It wasn't a bad idea, and I'm certain Ronnie will have it replaced. No reason not to. It was quite a clever way of thinking of playing the shot. He can't get to the one cushion escape because of the closeness of the cue ball to the pink, so he tried to go across twice. Only just slightly misjudged it. He's having another go. Now, same result.
Foul. And a miss.
Now has he left a pot on this time?
4.
Yes, I think the red just below that little cluster of 3 goes. 61 points the lead. So, red colour red, all that's required.
One.
There's the red, here's the colour, and the frame winning red nicely available.
Wow.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
I said earlier that Ronnie O'Sullivan misses hardly, and never hardly misses an easy pot. I mean, that's a snatch.
Well, I won't state the obvious and say why did he try to get good position on the red when the red was all he needed, but anyway, there you go. So 60 behind, 67 remaining. The problem is for Ding, he's got the pink and black in awkward positions. Pots his blue goes 54 points behind, 59 remaining, so he's not going to be able to win this frame with these reds and blues. He needs a pink or a black at some time.
Didn't get enough right-hand side. But he can take the safe red off. Chance to get in behind the yellow here. Thought there was a chance. In fact, he's played to take the black away from a fairly safe position. I thought the more important thing was concentrate on not leaving a red on, or a possibility of a pot.
Yeah, he put all his eggs in one basket there. He wanted the black in play, but not leaving this red, because this will be the frame winner. And, oh, I was going to say, and it is. But not only has Ronnie missed it, he's knocked the pink into play as well. Well, we always say when you're trying to get back in a match, a little bit of help from your opponent. And he's certainly getting some here.
pink
1.
is a lot more difficult a pot than it looks on your screen. It's quite an acute angle, this, so that would offer great chance to open the 3 reds. The black's the gimme pot. But I don't think he can open the reds from here, can he? No, just making sure the 8 points. Good safety required here.
Yes, and if he gets it,
8.
game on.
The yellow, behind the yellow rather, is the obvious target, but don't leave the chance of a pot.
Well, there's a red on to the corner, and he's left it.
8.
And he's also left the one in the middle of the table. Ronnie just looking for one more red as he glances at the scoreboard. Which one will it be? You'd think the one in the middle of the table. He can play the cue ball back to the baulk end. But he needs the red. He'll want to pot it.
I think desperation is too strong a word, but Ronnie O'Sullivan certainly looks like he just can't wait to get over the winning line in this frame. That's 3 chances to pot frame ball. That's a better safety. Still a pot available.
Yeah, and you look at this type of shot, and I think he's got to take it on because there's no easy safety here. He could try and play safe off this red, but could well leave another one on. So he needs to go for it. But once again, he's got a case of the nearlies. But at least he got the cue ball back to the baulk end, but he's left a chance for Ding. It's a tough one, but boy, if it goes in, we could have a new favourite.
It's the kind of shot he's very good at. Not to be this time.
Just run past the middle pocket. Ronnie's slightly hampered by the black, which may put him off playing the pot. That's why he didn't play it. But the kiss on the brown doesn't help. You just feel that one good shot here could swing this frame in favour of Ding Junhui. Oh, and another one. Now is it? Well, Ronnie not even looking the red along the top cushion. .46 points of difference, 51 remaining. Maybe thinking if I send the red near the top cushion up to the baulk end, I could snooker Ding on the 2 reds near the right-hand side cushion with the black. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, he's reluctant to play the 2 reds. They're in a fairly safe position. That's the easiest safety shot, but just playing the containing safety. Well, if that red runs, he's got the snooker on all 3 reds. Not quite.
No, not quite, but it still gives Ding Junhui a problem. He's got to somehow not leave a pot on, and that's easier said than done.
expect Ding to gain an advantage from that. But it's just keeping the pressure on.
Well, I'm just wondering, Stephen, now, I was thinking whether this was possible, but it may well be, but he doesn't control the cue ball too well. Now you see it, if the cue ball was a little bit more over to the left as we look, he'd be taking this red to the middle. But then you also think, what other shot is there to play? Can't really see a telling safety shot.
Yeah, if he plays the snooker behind the black, rolls the red to the middle of the table, at least try and force Ronnie in playing the red on the side cushion.
Not getting the snooker, he's handed the initiative to Ronnie. The only thing that Ronnie were concerned about, if he sends one red up the table and leaves the other one there, he needs to get the snooker behind the black for it to be a telling safety, because Ding, of course, has the opportunity to play what will be the last red at this end. It's one of those, you've got to be careful here. There's a bit of snooker left in this frame yet. That's the problem, but I don't know whether Ding will be tempted by the double. Could well be. But as I say, with this red being the last ball in this half of the table now, he could get an advantage. But he does like a double. Well, I think it was a half-hearted attempt at the double. I think when you're 46 behind with 51 left, Stephen, I think you've got to be positive on every shot you play. If he did play the double, he wouldn't have been on the black. And he needs a colour if he pots a red.
Ronnie's taking this on. Shot to nothing.
Where's the cue ball going? It's okay. I told you it was okay.
The red that's closest to the baulk cushion plays that into the yellow and brown. That'll keep the red there. Didn't think he'd play it that way, but it's okay because the green's covering the pocket.
Yeah, and he was only just a fraction away from getting a tremendous snooker behind the black. And a half chance of a pot here, but can he avoid the kiss on the second red? No, he couldn't. Well, it's a tough opener. Glancing at the scoreboard, 46 points behind. He's got a few points to play with 51 remaining.
Yeah, normal situation, you'd be playing for the green here, but post red green, he's 42 behind with 43 on. So holding the cue ball made the pot more difficult. Holding the cue ball for the blue, and that may well now be the shot that cost Ding Junhui this frame.
Yeah, Ding Junhui battled hard to try and get that chance. He did have one chance when he potted the brown and snookered himself with the pink. But he won't be getting another one now. And I suppose you could say, Stephen, that Ronnie steadied the ship somewhat.
8.
Yeah, he's looked a little bit vulnerable. At least you'd have to say half a dozen chances
9.
to pot frame ball. In the end, he had to be left in quite a comfortable pot. Missed the black by a long way, but it doesn't matter.
9. And the frame.
Ding Junhui stays in his seat, so Ronnie Sullivan does stem the tide. He's now 2 up with 3 to play.
Junhui's momentum is finally halted, but it needed a fair few opportunities for Ronnie to get over the line there.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before, you know, you have your concentration and you lose it. It's not a switch. You can't just flick it and the way it comes back. It's very difficult sometimes to get back, but he put a couple of good balls early on in that great blue, Ronnie, right at the beginning of the frame where he cued it well. But we saw earlier in this match where he was unlucky, in my opinion, when he's come off the blue and ended up stuck on a red, but he's not unlucky in this one. I mean, he's on the brown coming off. He should be nowhere near the pink off this. And this was a decent chance, actually, to get a counter in the frame, so that was a very poor shot there.
What did you make of that effort from him and the way, actually, it is so difficult to come back after those back-to-back centuries?
Well, I mean, you know, he's done very well to get those 3 frames on the board. It was always going to be tough to sort of get back on level terms, but it looked like he had a chance. He was a little bit straight on that brown, and he had to try and make sure he overhit that shot, but you know, he didn't really get enough pace on the cue ball. He got given chances after that as well, and it could have gone either way. But yeah, Ronnie steadied the ship, really. There's not much more you can say than that. So he'd be pretty relieved to have walked out of the room with that now having 3 bites at the cherry.
How do you think he'll reflect on the last few moments in this match when he looked completely in control of it at the interval?
I don't know, actually. That'd be very interesting if he does come through and he comes in and it'd be interesting to see what he says about it. But there's no doubt about it. Those first 4 frames today, he was in total focus. Nothing was bothering him, only a fly that's like this one going around here at the moment.
Yes.
That was the only thing, but you know, everything looked perfect for him, and then the interval came, the dreaded interval, and since then it's all been ding mostly.
Yeah, I mean, players don't necessarily watch matches back. They have enough time on their hands in a way. They'd probably get on with the next practice session, but if he watched it back, he may go, yeah, perhaps I did play a couple of risky shots in frame 5 that let my opponent in with a few easy chances. But you play the shot you see when you're out there, and probably, on reflection, Ronnie O'Sullivan plays more right shots than any other player in the game, so we're not going to pick too many holes in that.
Absolutely, because it's made for an absolutely fascinating afternoon. We've had wonderful drama the way this match has seesawed. By the way, fair warning, we're actually going to change channel and hop over to BBC 2 at 1:30, so just be aware of that. We'll continue to watch this early part of frame 9 here on BBC 1, but if you want to go with us, I will tell you once again when we're about to hop over. But fair warning, as I say, and back we go for frame 9 of a possible 11. Ronnie on the brink of final number 13.
Good length with the cue ball. I don't think Ding can get to the potting angle of this red near the right corner. No. So he's just playing the containing safety. Leave the cue ball near the top cushion. But maybe left a possible pot here to the left middle. Well, maybe not. I think if he had it done, Ronnie would have been playing it by now. That yellow is or appears to be a nice blocker to the main bunch of reds. There's a possible pot on, but also a easy enough safety. Play this red here with a lot of left-hand side to get back to the baulk cushion. A little bit harder than intended, but safe enough. Well, this is amazing. I mean, it all looked plain sailing before the interval. 4-0. Mind you, by the same rule, I suppose we could say, Stephen, not put under a lot of pressure before the interval.
He was dominating Ding, wasn't he, in every department. We've seen the stats, and yeah, he's definitely looked a little bit nervy. Yeah, we want this match to go on much longer and kill it off as soon as possible.
1.
Of course, the black tied up at the moment, so you'll be looking at a way to bring the black into play sooner rather than later. Yeah, and it seemed to me, well, early on in the match, you pointed out that Ronnie looked very focused, and now he's just making one or two, well, basic errors. I mean, that safety shot that's give Ding this chance. I mean, that was the type of mistakes that Ding Junhui was making. And they're poor safeties.
Yep, that's exactly the kind of thing
7.
that Ding was doing. Hoping for a nice angle in the blue here. Not enough angle to go into the
8.
bunch. I'd like to go into them, try and bring either pink or black into play. Surely he's not overscrewed this.
30.
Well, what an error. That's criminal for Ding Junhui to leave that cue ball there. He will be absolutely furious going back to his seat.
Ding Junhui, 13.
Well, he can clearly hit the reds, but doesn't feel as though he can play or get any advantage. So coming round, well, is it a 1 cushion nestle into them? There's 2 cushions. Needs to miss the first red, which he's done. Is he hard enough? Oh, touch of a surgeon. Beautiful.
Touching ball.
Looks like Ronnie's going to have to play. Well, that 2 cushion escape that he played last time was a little bit risky for me. The 1 cushion, there's a lot more chance of getting it safe. A lot more margin for error, and that's why he played the 1 cushion that time.
So it all depends how aggressive Ding Junhui wants to get with his safety. Does he want to try and open up 2 or 3 reds and get a good cue ball? I didn't develop any reds, but decent cue ball.
Our coverage continues now on BBC Two until the end of this match. So, for those of you watching on BBC One, it's time to say farewell, or please make the change and come with us to the other side now. Well, this really is a crucial part in the match. O'Sullivan 5 frames to 3 ahead. This is frame 9 of a possible 11. Stephen Hendry, John Virgo in the commentary box.
Well, Ding Junhui potted a good thin red there, but you can see it straight away heading for that far corner pocket. Never touched the side. This is a better shot from Ronnie. Too many times for me since the mid-session interval he's played safety shots and not reds near the corner pocket, which is very unlike Ronnie to do that. There's the match time, just over 2.5 hours. Just a little bit thick on that, but a little flick off the brown behind the yellow will help. Oh, perfect. I don't know why Ronnie tapped the table. That was a bit of luck. So 2 cushion escape here with pace. See the 2 reds that are together just right of the black? He'll be trying to clip the furthest one. Well, he got the near one, which catches the red too thick. But the blue has stopped Ding Junhui getting to the easy red to the left corner, but there's still one to the right corner.
Yeah, it's getting the cue ball out of there for any sort of position on the colour. I suppose you could play a cannon on the black directly, leave the black to left corner, but it's a risky shot to play. So he's still keeping his discipline, Ding Junhui. He's not just going all out attack. Decent safety shot there. Don't think Ronnie's got the option of the red to right corner and followed the cue ball through.
He's got to catch this just right. The blue's the big ball in the middle of the table, and he's found it. That was a tough shot.
Well, I'd love the black to be able to go to the left corner, Ding Junhui. I don't think it does, but that would have been ideal. That's another. Okay, it's not the easiest safety shot in the world, but we're that used to. Well, certainly the first 4 frames, Ronnie's safety being perfection. This needs good cueing, and with the rest. Oh, he's changed his mind. Not a lot easier, this one. The pot was hard enough, but getting the cue ball out of there was the problem.
Yep. That's what can happen at this game. Your opponent makes a mistake, but they leave you reds on, but it's very hard to get on the colour. And that was the case there for Ding Junhui. So trying to get that cue ball tight to the baulk cushion here. Trying to force the mistake from Ronnie. Not tight. And you'd be amazed how much difference it makes. I think he's eyeing up a pot here, Ronnie. He wouldn't if he was tight to the baulk cushion. But he thinks the pot's easier than the safety. Oh, what a tremendous pot it was. All he'll have is the yellow, should he choose to play it, but he's got the angle on the yellow. These are missable. You can't take these for granted.
Yeah, we're dropping the cue ball into an area with a choice of 2 reds. One to right middle, one to right corner. Possibly one even to the left corner, so he's got options. Oh, super pot. Not gimmies them. And added into that the pressure of what he was going to leave on should he miss it.
Yes, and there is pressure now because Ding Junhui has proved, given a chance, that he'll be winning frames in one visit. So Ronnie needed a response, and that yellow, from his point of view and his supporters, was a good sign. That was a terrific shot, made to look very easy. This was it, a natural angle. A lot of people like to stun those off the side cushion, just feels you've got more control of the cue ball, but no, not Ronnie. Fully committed. Floated it in. His big problem here at the moment is the black. The pink now looks to be tied up, apart from maybe possibilities going the left middle. He's obviously going to go up for the blue here. But he's just looking how he can get position on the black at some time. Can he get on it off this red? The problem is if he plays on the black off this red, he'll have the wrong potting angle on the black to get on the next red. That's why I suggest the blue.
11.
Come down the table. Well, probably purposely a bit further because the blue wasn't on its spot. Got a nice angle on the green. I suppose the brown, if you stun it round off 3 cushions, he's got the red that's closest to the top cushion to play for. Lots more margin for error. Well, flicking the blue.
50.
Well, he's still got a red, the one to the right of the black. It's not the one he played for. And a little bit of work to do with the cue ball here.
Yeah, the fact the blue is not on its spot, that would have been a straightforward positional shot. So that's why he's going back up to the bulk end. It looks like he's overhit it. Now he needs it to run.
60.
Certainly didn't play for the brown. Another tricky pot to keep this break going. Options, middle or the corner. Looks like he's lining up for this right-hand side corner pocket.
Yeah, he had a yellow earlier on in the match that he missed, similar to this. But not that one. Not that one when it mattered. That yellow, I think, early on in the match was possibly to keep him going for a century. This was a frame and match winner.
Good red to take away that one. That opens the black up to the left corner.
Played that with a lot of left-hand side, looking for another 28 points here. So if he takes high-value colours, particularly if he can get the black on its spot, 28 points. Well, 4 reds, 4 blacks is 32 points. Looks as though he's going to play for the black off this red.
7.
Yeah, and the reason he could play for it is the potting angle on the black takes him away from the reds, but because he's got that one near the left corner. He doesn't have to be that precise with position. But he's still going to have to disturb those 4 reds in the middle of the table to win the frame and match at this visit.
.34.
Just about got there. But it's not this shot. He needs to get a good angle on the black, and then the cannon will decide whether he can win frame and match at this visit.
35.
This is the shot coming up now. If this goes right, surely it's all over.
Stroked that red in beautifully, perfectly on the black. And that is a perfect outcome, and you would have to say that's the match-winning shot.
42. 43.
Red and a pink, red and a black, and Ding Junhui.
49.
His race has been run in this year's Dafabet Masters, but boy, has he given us some entertainment this afternoon.
50.
When it was 4-0 at the mid-session interval,
Thank you.
he didn't hold out much hope for him, but he certainly entertained the crowd. And nothing to be ashamed of. Nobody has. When you lose to this man, greatest snooker player in the world. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And if there's a more talented
57.
sportsman playing any sport in the world, I'd like to know who it is. To be able to play at this level with left and right hand is just incredible. Now just going through the motions for the crowd
63.
to clap his every shot.
64.
Wasn't vintage Ronnie, Stephen, but you always felt that 4-0 in front he was never going to lose.
No, the first 4 frames broke the back of the match, didn't it?
66.
Outstanding match performance. Okay, no century breaks, but
68.
just completely outplayed his opponent in every department. Slight hiccup, perhaps, in concentration since interval, but
71.
yeah, that 4-0 lead proved pivotal.
.75.
And getting into his 13th final at the Masters. Amazing. And already won
8.
it 7 times, broke Stephen's record of 6. And in the final tomorrow, trying for an 8th.
86.
In goes the black. There'll be a warm handshake between the 2 players. Great respect for one another. And Ronnie always likes to have a quiet word with Ding Junhui. He's got great admiration for him. And he was just a little unlucky that he didn't make the maximum. But it's Ronnie O'Sullivan, the crowd's favourite, had that 4-0 lead and came through at the end and has won the match by 6 frames to 3. The Rockets in the final again.
And isn't that amazing and really wonderful to see? There is huge respect and huge affection between these men. We've seen it so often in their rivalry over the last 13, 14 years. And look at this, going out as pals. Absolutely brilliant. Very seldom do you see that in sport. And that is a real tonic, isn't it, after a wonderful match, John Parrott?
Yeah, fantastic. Like a couple of old boxers slugging it away. It's all finished, the bells rang, and let's have a cuddle.
Well,
I'm not too sure Dings is worried about all the cuddling, but never mind.
you get the feeling that maybe Ronnie's dispensing a little bit of advice to him because it's not been the greatest of seasons for him. But this surely, a performance, particularly after the interval, says that there's a lot more to come from him.
Yeah, I think looking at those pictures there as well.
Well done. We were just fascinated with that embrace at the end with Ding, and we're just wondering if you wouldn't mind telling us what you were saying to him there.
No, it's just between me and Ding, you know.
Fair enough,
He knows
fair
what
enough.
I think of him, and I said what I had to say, and you know, you keep stuff like that
It
private
is
to each
clear,
other.
though, there's a real respect and affection for that man for you.
Well, because, you know, he's just one of the best guys, you know, he's just got a heart of gold. And, you know, his family have looked after me whenever I go to China. You know, they're just the most amazing people. And, you know, I just seem like a brother, you know.
Yeah, well, Luke, sorry, Stephen.
I was saying, you said you were willing him on to make the 147. It was a great effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the last black
Yeah.
that he parted with the rest, I mean, he'd be disappointed. I think he's the type of player that if he'd have made the maxi, he'd have probably been disappointed that it wasn't the perfect maxi. That's the type of player he is. I mean, he's such a perfectionist, cue ball control and that. But, you know, it was just brilliant. You know, brilliant to see the London crowd have a chance to see a 147.
It was indeed, and you were enjoying it as well, particularly when that yellow fluked in as well.
I knew it was in before him. He's gone like that, and I'm like, it's in. And I think if he would have not done that, he might have had a chance at the green. I don't know.
It's a strange game because, like, before the interval, you were like a lump of granite, and it felt like you let him off the hook a fraction. Judging it from afar, when you're playing the game, you don't analyse it the same as in the studio.
Yeah, now listen, I wouldn't have been disappointed if I'd have lost because I loved that guy so much, you know, and I would have really been happy to see him competing in a final, you know. He wouldn't have done. He wanted to know everyone to the ground, you know. But I'm a little bit different like that, you know. I just enjoy playing. I enjoy competing, enjoy the occasion. But I've been so happy for Ding, you know, because he's a special guy, special talent.
But these guys were saying you were virtually unplayable in those first 4 frames. You were really disciplined, really on it. What changed, would you say, after the interval?
Not a lot, really. I mean, I missed a couple of balls, but you know, it was 50s, 60s, 40s, bit of safety. You know, it's all right. You know, it's not my strong point, so. You know, it was. You know, I played the right shot, but it wasn't scary.
Once again, though, you must be pleased the way to finish the match off. That long red and the yellow in the middle it's a brilliant way to finish the match off. Oh, absolutely.
The first red you played, like there was a danger you were going to go into the pack. You saw the fact you could get around the back of it. That was a great shot.
Do you know what it is? You know when you kind of get to a point where you don't care. Not that I didn't care out there. You just get to a point in life where I've trained myself to not care about anything, any consequences and whatever. And when you're in that place, you just take it for what it is. It's just a game and you enjoy it. And I have nothing to lose because I have fear that there is no fear, you know, in a way. And that's just for life, you know. So it's just, you know, I just go out there and, you know, I just do my best.
That makes you a very dangerous competitor.
Yeah, it does, because some of the shots you have to take on these days. I mean, the yellow, the second shot of that break to win the yellow in the middle was a very risky one into. But I think we've got these 2 shots you played actually. The red, you was in all sorts of trouble if you decided to play a safety shot. It was marvellous, and you left yourself not easy on the yellow. And that went a bit too far down the table.
It's a curing shot, isn't it? If you cure it all right, it goes in. If you cure around corners, then you miss it thick, thin, all sorts of stuff.
It does help if you sort of can give that sort of, you know, doesn't matter if you miss it or not.
Yeah, honestly, it's not I don't care. I mean, it's just you train yourself. The SAS train himself to do a job. I train myself to not get hurt. You know, in life you have your ups and downs, and I've just trained myself that nothing is gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be, you know, vulnerable to anything, you know, even life itself, you know. And I'm not a religious person, don't get me wrong, but you just have to, you know, because it's life can be tough, and you have to just sort of learn to roll with the punches and come out feeling good no matter what the result sometimes.
I'll tell you what, though, Ronnie, you're on some roll. This is your sixth event and you're in your 5th final.
Yeah,
and, you know, when you think back on that performance today and you look ahead to tomorrow and what's a 13th Masters final, what are you happiest with today, and what would you think about maybe trying to squeak a little improvement out tomorrow?
I don't look for improvement. You know, you just play the balls, play the table. Each day is different. I've had about 3 or 4 different corrections this tournament so far. I changed it again at 4-3. You know, but I feel like I have a framework, or the scaffolding, if you like, with Steve. You know, the scaffolding's there. Now I can just tweak about a bit more. I lost a bit of my timing, but you know, I've had that for so long now, for so many years, that, you know, I don't let it bother me as much as I used to, you know.
Ask you, will you watch tonight? You know, the other semi-final, will you watch a bit of that?
I don't know. Do you know, it's very exhausting because, I don't know, like when, you know, I'm 43 now, I don't know how you felt when you was 43, but I find I get tired now, you know, just concentrating for long periods of time, you know. And I always say to myself, what would a 29-year-old Ronnie do against a 43-year-old Ding? Mm-hmm. I think, you know, I mean, I think I'd get on top a bit easier. I don't know, you know, but as you're kind of like older and you're playing these youngsters, it's a bit difficult to keep fighting off the punches sometimes. You know, I've been doing it for 25 years, and you do get a bit punchy, and you know, you have to just kind of find a way to just find your place within the sport. I think sometimes, you know.
Well, is it going to be a 30-something Neil Robertson or a 29-year-old Judd Trump with the big punches that you think you might be facing tomorrow?
Well, I mean, if you go by form, I suppose you'd have to say Judd. You know, he's played probably the best snooker out of Neil and that so far, and you know, he seems like he's turned a corner with his, you know, with how he's playing. So, but Neil's a dangerous player. You know, he studies the game a lot. You know, he looks at his statistics, and you know, he's found a way that he thinks he can play better. So you have to admire that dedication and that due diligence, if you like, about his job. So whoever it is, it's going to be a tough game, but it'll be a long day for me, you know, but I'm looking forward to a rest after this. I've got 2 weeks off, thank God for that.
Well, you've got a big day tomorrow, Ronnie. We really thank you for coming in once again, and I tell you what, that's some record this season, and you're into your 13th Masters final. Well done. All right.
13, unlucky some.
Well, indeed, yeah.